Hey guys, it's Melissa here from Melissa Shares. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I am a mommy to 2 young children and we live here in Los Angeles where the cost of living is very expensive. So I'm always trying to do things that are beneficial for my family on a budget. As you know, we do a ton of gardening here and I feel so fortunate that we're able to live in this house and improve our landscape while also teaching my kids a lot about nature. But I realize that if you're in a climate where that's difficult, where it's cold and you don't have a lot of outdoor time, or if you're living in an apartment or condo where you just don't have your own outdoor space, that can be a challenge. This week, my children have been involved in 2 activities that have been so much fun for us and both encouraged nature learning. So I wanted to share these with you because I feel like they're activities that maybe you may or may not do, or maybe you take for granted, but I feel like there's a lot of value in them. The first activity is snapping beans or shelling beans. English peas, edamame, chickpeas. I had some fava beans that were a little far gone, but I decided to try them out anyway and see if we could salvage them for some snacking. And my little 2.5-year-old loved peeling these fava beans. She is very dexterous, and it was a task that she was able to do with ease with a little bit of help from me. She's also very interested in process and jobs, and so she was very interested while doing this to talk to me about the whole process and to assign me what my job was, which was to start the bean for her and then to let her peel the various jackets. And then she told me that my job was to cook them. I feel like it's kind of an old-fashioned memory that some of us have, snapping string beans, shelling peas, what have you. But in addition to that wonderful fine motor practice that it gave my daughter, it was also bonding time for us, and it was also, I would say, like a plant learning time for her, because the anatomy of the fava bean itself is really interesting. There's a lot of parts to it and they're very oversized and big, so you're able to see the pod, the way that those seeds attach to the pod, and then the various parts and jackets that come off, and even where the seed will ultimately sprout from. So they were really interesting objects in themselves, even if they're not a food that your family consumes a lot of. The second activity that does not require your own house, because this wasn't at our house, is rock sorting. I'm sure that many of you have areas that you go by where there's gravel, and in some cases, like in our neighborhood, we have neighbors who have 2 different kinds of gravel in different flower beds or areas along the sidewalk. This week, while taking a walk, my daughter took it upon herself to sort the rocks, which means that when someone walks by and kicks up a rock, sometimes the colors intermix. And so just like a shape sorter or a color sorting activity that you might do with a nursery school age child, this was a cleaning up job where she took it upon herself to separate the white rocks from the crushed brick, and she could easily tell the colors apart and put everything back in its place. And she easily spent 15 minutes putting things back together in our neighbor's yard where the rocks had gotten intermingled and mixed up. Those are 2 nature outdoor activities, one with organic seed pods and the other one with rocks, which are kind of an interesting material to look at and learn from. Both of them involve fine motor skills and decision making. Both of them were helpful things that my daughter did, and both of them kind of tap into the desire to manipulate small objects or loose parts. And I can link a book to that down below if you're interested in learning more about the concept of loose parts for young children. Just on my mind, wanted to share it with you. I hope you like these ideas, and if you have a young child at home, I highly encourage you to buy something that requires shelling this week, and let me know how it goes. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Those green googly eyes.
Yeah.